we're gonna wrap up. Well, I mean, we're not like wrap up, but we're gonna do some stuff. So we're gonna do something we haven't done in a while. It's one of Lacey's favoriteest things. Can you guess what it is?
Are we going to do a cage match?
Bum bum bum. Yes, I got 3 of them lined up. We'll see how many we can get through. We might not get through all of them. We'll get through as many as we can. So I've got 3, and you can choose. So I got 2 Dave Ramsey ones. One is titled "Stop Blaming Dave Ramsey for Your Financial Trouble." Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't seen these. I just picked them by title.
You just picked them by title.
All
okay.
Right.
Well, I understand why you picked that title. That title's funny.
That was a good title. Okay. Stop blaming Dave Ramsey for your financial trouble. All right. Should I listen to my advisor or should I listen to Dave?
Oh my, okay.
All right. And then I've got a Joe Rogan one, which I would like to get through. And it's Joe Rogan and Tom Segura on student loan debt and school system.
Okay, well, I want to get through as much as we can here. But
all right. Which one do you want?
The first one I'm really curious about is, should I listen to my advisor or should I listen to Dave?
All right, here we go.
Great. That's the first one I want. Oh, my goodness.
All right. Cage match. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, Florida. Hi, Pat. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, thanks for having your staff answer my email. So I was calling in
I'm going to speed this up.
I did the financial piece of university during COVID. I paid off a rental home, my debt, credit card debt, and my car. My only debt right now is my home that I currently live in and my student loan. So I have a financial advisor that I reached out to, and I told him that I wanted to pay. I'm down to $15,000 on the student loan. So I told him I wanted to pay that off in the next year. And he feels that I should not do that. Instead, allocate that money towards my Roth IRA. So my question is, do I go against him? Do I go, I don't know which road to take.
And how much do you owe on your student loan?
$15,000. So I'm almost 6. But I'm about to be 60 next month, and I still have a student loan, and next weekend I don't want to have this over my head anymore.
Well, you know what you need to do, and that's pay off those loans. Do you have the money to do it?
Well, my goal was to pay them off and pay aggressively and get it done in 1 year, so $15,000.
Okay. Well, here's the thing.
Okay, so wow. Wow, what are your thoughts so far? Because that's crazy. So she's going to pay off $15,000 in a year. Let's get it. What are your thoughts,
Well,
Liz?
I mean, quite frankly, this is super straightforward from what they're going to tell her to do. They're going to tell her to pay it off, and they're going to tell her there's no way it should take her a year to pay off $15,000 in student loans.
Yeah.
They're going to, tell her that they're probably going to tell her that she's not doing a good enough budget. She should eat beans and rice, maybe get another job or whatever and pay it off. And they'll think she can pay it off in like 6 months or something, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's do this real quick. So let's say 8% interest. So she invested that, she'd have saved $15,562 by the end of the year. Right, or she'd have paid off her loan. Well, if she paid off her loan, and this is just 1 year. We're just doing this $15,000. Student loans are what, 4.6 right now? That can't be right. No, that's fine. All right. It would be $15,704. So she would have, if she pays off the loan, she'd be net positive at the end of the year, but it wouldn't be good for her long term, because long term she'd be net negative on that whole deal, because if she invests the money versus just paying off the loan, plus if she can get like an income-based loan repayment on top of the fact loans are not gaining interest anymore, as long as she's paying them off, right? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for her to just jump off and pay off the loan right away, especially since the loan is not bad credit. Also, the other thing about that is this: She pays off a $15,000 loan within a year, her credit score is going to go down by at least 100 points. It's just a fact. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What her advisor's telling her makes a lot of sense. You should really be just pay off the loan as it is, and then just focus on saving money for retirement, because you'll end up having a lot more later on.
Well, quite frankly, I feel like her advisor probably hasn't talked enough to her in two different directions. One, he obviously doesn't really know his client very well, because obviously that's what she wants to do. She doesn't want to be 60 years old with that debt.
Yeah, maybe.
And what numerically is the correct thing may not be the correct thing for her if it's not what she actually even wants to do.
Right.
Second off, it seems as though he maybe needed to explain to her, if he's trying to get her to do something that's against what it is she actually really wants to do. He seems to have not done a very good job of explaining to her why we would want to do this other route as opposed to what she wants to do. Well, because she doesn't seem like she's going into that understanding it very well.
Let me play devil's advocate as somebody who was a financial advisor. Okay. If I'm a financial planner and I have a fiduciary responsibility, that's one thing. I will sit down and explain it to you. If I'm just an advisor investing the money, I'm just going to tell you this is what I think you should do. Agree with me, disagree with me, I don't care. I really don't. Because the bottom line is, it's not my money, it's yours. If you want to lose money, that's your prerogative. And then when you come back and yell at me about it, I'm just going to tell you, you said you wanted to do it this way. I told you were going to lose money. You lost money.
Right.
So don't fucking yell at me, man. I didn't do, I did what you asked. Right? It's like a broker. A broker doesn't care at all. You could lose money, make money. I don't give a shit. It's not going to affect my day. You're either going to listen to me or you're not. Right? And in this case, she sounds like one of these people where now she's asking for a second opinion, but she's calling a guy for a second opinion who has no background in personal finance, other than he's just pretending to do this for the last 30 years. He doesn't know any of this shit. And then this guy, George, is sitting there telling, well, you need to pay off the loan. Why? Because that's their religious cult-like response. They're not thinking about the mathematics at all. Because even if they're not even explaining it. Because an actual explanation would be, hey, here's the deal. If it's bothering you that much, pay it off, right? However, if you do, I want you to understand that net, you're going to lose money over time. Because you're going to lose all the investment opportunity, right, of that money. So just know that going ahead, right? Or you could do some sort of hybrid version where you pay it off over 2 years, right? And then you use the other half and you save it. And that might be a better compromise to a situation. But we're not even discussing that. They immediately go to, nope, just pay it off, even though that is mathematically the answer that will cost her the most money over time. That's where it's like, it's just so stupid right out of the gate. But we'll keep going. I mean, maybe they justify this, but it's just so stupid.
Kind of like going to a dentist and saying, hey, do I have any cavities that you think would need to be filled? The dentist is going to find some cavities. You know what I mean? And so the financial...
I don't know who he's going to the dentist.
He is a shitty dentist, man, yeah.
That's insane.
God, he thinks everybody's going to... But this is now where his argument's going to go, is your financial advisor is going to screw you. Every time. Even though the financial advisor is actually giving her the correct advice. Just the textbook advice. Yeah, you're better off just paying it off and saving more money. That's the textbook CFP answer. Right?
Right.
If you're taking, fundamentals of personal finance, that is the textbook answer to that question.
Advisor wants you to invest because that's how they make money, and they're not thinking about the full picture in this case about your freedom and your retirement and your goals
and your peace.
Okay, I gotta fucking pause that for a second. This is what I love about this logic. I do not trust
When I started my business in 2011, I chose Wix.
Wow, that was loud. No, hang on one second. There we go. Ad there. So here's their logic. Do not trust your financial advisor because it's his profession, not his hobby. That's what they just said. Trust us and buy our products. Oh, wait. Buy our products, but it's not really our profession. We care. We actually give a shit. Pat from Fort Lauderdale, who we've never spoken to before. We actually care. Your financial advisor, who makes a living helping you out and works on fees, so the more money you make, the more money he makes. Don't listen to him because it's his profession, not his hobby.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
I know, that's the argument they're making. It's so stupid. All right, let's see.
And I know that this loan forgiveness is going nowhere, so I was like, I had it. I just want to get this done with.
So here's the thing. Okay, his theory, if I understand it correctly, is that instead of paying off the $15,000, you should put the $15,000 into his investments. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And so what he's saying is that the student loan, he can make more on the money than the student loan interest is. Does that sound right?
All right, let me do this. So I'm going to show this. This is, so once again, they're doing the same thing, right? Put it in his investments because he'll make that much more money. Okay. You know what a financial advisor makes on that money? Standard advisory fee, 1% a year. Okay. So 15,000 times 0.01 equals $15 a year. Yeah, he's lying to you to fuck you out of $15 a year. If it was $500,000, now we'd be talking.
Right.
Because he'd be making $5,000 a year.
Right.
But fucking 15,000 is nothing. So this whole thing is, see, he's screwing you because he makes money off of that. $15. That's a cup of coffee and a scone at Starbucks. He doesn't even have enough for a Nora Jones CD. So fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
So what if he came to you and said, what's the interest rate on your student loan, by the way?
4.25.
What if he said,
That whoops, good.
I've arranged $1 million loan for you at 4.25. I want you to borrow $1 million and give it to me to invest because I can make more than 4.25 on it. What would you do? What would you do?
What would I do?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do.
Would you borrow? It's not a trick question. Would you go borrow $1 million
No.
at 4.25 so that you could invest the money with him because he says he can make more than that?
No.
I don't get that. He's done that before. Can you explain that to me?
Yes, this is what he does in order to try to get people to evaluate what feels like risky behavior, like not risk in a literal sense, definition wise, but like the sense of danger we feel when we do something risky.
Oh, okay.
So he's sort of trying to trigger this emotion idea of how people are not likely to want to take out $1 million in debt or some very large amount. They're not going to go and seek that out because it feels dangerous to them. And then he's trying to utilize that logic to convince them that they should not be listening, or in this case, listening to this advisor.
Well, okay, well, there's 2 points in that which I think are kind of backwards. So, first off, is it's devoid of reality, right? If you could get $1 million loan, right, at 4.25%, I say take it and invest it. Right. The question then becomes, can you pay it off every month? Right. That's the big question we got to answer. And does the investment make sense? Also, you have to understand, most people, when they start businesses or companies, are taking big loans and investing them in the business, right? But the business is taking the loan. And it's limited liability. And then you can, if you have to bankrupt the business, it doesn't affect you as bad. It's your limited liability, right? But it tanks the business. And then the loan gets, forgiven and all the assets of the business get seized. Dave should know he's done this. And he was forgiven over $300,000 because he tanked a business.
Right.
So he should know that this is not a bad idea, right? Now, if you're taking it under your own name, that's a different thing. So he's sort of set this up where it's like you're taking it under your own name, so you're taking all the risk, right? The other side of the coin is he's not pointing out that it's like, well, can you pay it off? Can you, are there ways you can handle it? Who are you getting the loan from? Is it from a bank? Is it from the government? Right? All these things factor in. The other thing about it is it's not even comparable to the situation. Because in the situation, it's like you have the debt and student loan debt. It's cheap. It's federally insured, right? Mm-hmm. You can pay it off over time. It's going to help your credit score. We're not taking on any extra risk, right? Because the advisor wouldn't advise you to take on extra risk. But, but the whole point is you're not taking on any extra risk because you just pay it off. But it's better for you to be saving for your retirement now and getting the benefit of compound interest over time. So I don't know. The whole thing is it's not comparable. It's not even apples and oranges. It's an apple and a dump truck. They're not even.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I understand why he's doing what he's doing, but it just doesn't feel like a terribly fair comparison because you're taking something you also straight up know somebody's behaviorally not going to do.
Right, but the other thing about it is, well, that's his point. But the other thing about it is it's also really backwards because he's sitting there saying your financial advisor's lying to you to get that extra $15 a year because that's how he pays for his, his Mercedes.
Right.
For that $15 a year. But I'm not going to lie to you, so I'm going to give you an example that's total bullshit that has no comparison whatsoever and tell you that they're the same thing.
Right.
It's just such a backwards way of thinking. I don't know. You want to watch some more of this? We'll get through it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's not a trick question. I'm not trying to catch you off.
Well, it is a trick question.
But sometimes when you're looking at a decision like this, if you add a bunch of zeros to the decision, it makes the principle become very crystal clear. So let me tell you what just happened in our conversation. Okay, when I made it not 15,000, but I made it $1 million, you felt the weight of debt. You felt the risk of debt, and you said, I might actually intellectually know that I might make more than 4%, but I'm not willing to take the risk that I won't. I don't like the weight of that. That's
Okay,
what
I
just
gotta
happened.
correct him on this. Damn it.
Right. He uses the word risk in an emotional sense, not like in a financial sense. I wish he would use a different word because it concerns me that he's maybe mixing people up a little.
Yeah, okay. But if we add some zeros to it, it changes everything. I'm like, well, of course it does. Dumbass. Everybody knows that. So, we use my guy, Grogu here, right? It's my toy. I paid $40 for it. Didn't need it, but I wanted it. Right? Some had to have
Let's
them.
add some zeros to that.
Now, let's add some zeros. What if it was $40 million? Would I have bought him?
$40 million.
Would I have bought him? No. Not for $40 million. $40, yeah. What if it was 400? I'd be like, no. Oh, fuck that. I'd rather steal him for 400. I've never stolen anything, by the way, kids. I don't steal. Stealing is bad. Anyway, but that's my point. Is it's a stupid comparison. So you're gonna sit there and say, "Well, Duncan, that was a stupid purchase. What if it was $40 million? Would you have bought it?" No. Why? Because it changes the entire fucking scenario. It changes the equation.
Right.
You change it. Variable change, man. Did you take fucking math in high school? Am I the only one? I must have been. It was awake for that. I mean, so once again, it's another stupid comparison. The other thing too is don't sit here and tell me you understand behavioral finance when you're doing the exact back ass opposite fucking thing that behavioral finance says. Because behavioral finance says you misvalue things. That's the problem people have. Not that they undervalue. Not that they sit there and go, well, if it's only 15, it's not a big deal. No, she still feels $15,000. The problem is she's undervaluing the investment versus paying off the debt. She doesn't understand the opportunity cost. That's the loss here. He doesn't understand what opportunity cost is. She's losing money by not investing. That's what the advisor's telling her. And he didn't pull that out of his ass. It's in the fucking Series 7 handbook when you're studying for your broker license. It's a basic test question. And he's trying to argue for the wrong answer. And then he's trying to tell you, well, it's behavioral finance. When you add more money, you see it changes everything. Yeah. Thanks, Grandpa. Here, Billy, here's $2. Go buy some fireworks at the fireworks stand. You can't even buy sparklers for $2 anymore. Thanks, Grandpa. Come on. He's such an idiot. You want to give? We'll give him one more minute.
All right. We'll give him one more minute before we pull the plug on him.
Yeah.
In this conversation, wasn't it? That's what your brain did.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
No, yes, you're right.
Okay. And so, because it's only 15,000, it makes you go, well, maybe he's right. But your heart is saying, no, I want the peace. Okay. So I would agree with you. I think he's wrong, and I would pay off my student loans. And I also would consider a different financial advisor.
There it was. I'm done with that.
Honestly, I'm not against her considering a different financial advisor. If if you're working with an advisor that you don't like,
No, it's like
the direction they go.
No, but
go with somebody that you like working with, that you want to work with. So.
No, but I'll tell you this: every financial advisor is going to tell her that. Otherwise, they can get sued or fined. Every financial advisor is going to tell her that. I'm not against it. I mean, if you don't like your lawyer, your doctor, whoever, find another one. But the bottom line is, there's no doctor who's going to sit there and go, if you have cancer, for example, right? You don't go and ask 5 doctors until one of them goes, "No, you don't have cancer. You can eat whatever you want."
Right.
Why? Because that guy will lose his fucking license. That's why we're licensed to do these things. That's why I was a licensed advisor. That's why no one on the Dave Ramsey show has a license. Because if they did, they'd be getting fined left and right by the Financial Regulation Agency.
Right.
The SEC. Oh, God. Well, plus, I would fire your advisor. Because I know better. Me, Dave, who took one class in personal finance at most when I was a, junior in fucking college. Then as a failed realtor who fell back asswards into a radio show because I had a friend that I went to church with.
Right.
And now I'm worth, $200 million because I got lucky. And I played to the evangelical crowd and they kissed my ass. And now I'm a little cult leader on my own little compound in the middle of nowhere. But I've obviously never read a fucking finance textbook in my entire life. Dave Ramsey. Man, cracks me up. The guy gave her, it's a textbook answer. Okay? And my point is she probably went to him and he said, "Yeah, I think this is what you should do." And here's the beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. As a financial advisor with clients, I can tell you this. Here's the beautiful thing. If you tell me I don't want to do that, I'm just going to tell you, okay, I'm going to make a note of that and I want you to sign it. That way, if it blows up, you can't sue me.
Right.
That's it. We'll do it your way. It's your money. It's not my money.
Right.
Oh, man. All right. So that was a good cage match. I think that was a blowout.